and welcome to the most wonderful time of the year. It's March Madness here at Thoroughbred Diesel. We just watched Notre Dame squeak one out, right? Notre Dame won. Virginia won barely. Gonzaga's down.
Weren't they?
Yep. So hopefully everybody is at work today and you're getting to enjoy your ball games like we are. We're not getting to enjoy them, but they're on the TV and we get to look up at them every once in a while. So
I don't know that anybody. We've tried to do some sports related stuff over the years, and nobody else seems to be the sports fans that we are.
So if you see me looking up at the TV, there's nobody coming in the office to get me. I'm literally looking at the TV. Yeah, Virginia won 74-71. Is that right?
Yes, that shit is closed.
So, call us with your diesel questions today. I'm going to have to be real selective about going off of D&D because we're quite a few in queue right now. We're very busy, blessed, and we appreciate that. 859-355-9002. I'll turn the phone off, and here we go. Call us if you have any questions. What are we talking about in training today? That's a good question, Adam.
Today, do I need to be here?
Yeah,
Can I go back to my office?
Today in training, we went over some sales numbers. We basically talked about some distribution stuff and so on and so forth. Just some internal stuff, so nothing good and technical and greasy today. Sorry about that.
So, what are some good water separators for the 5.9 Comet? It's a 12 valves. Wants to know, are they even worth it, or is it a waste of money?
If you want to do like a water separator outside of your normal canister, if you want to get away from your normal canister and you want to fab up something down on your frame rail, you can do a little bit of research. Napa carries a good selection of different filter heads, and then just pick a good filter that you like. You can do a little bit of research. I tell you, Fleet Guard's website is very good for picking filters for applications like that because you get the thread size, the micron count of the filter, the flow of the filter, and that'll let you make a good educated decision of what you want to get. So I think it's fleetguardfiltration.com or cumminsfiltration.com. It's one of the two, but you've got a filter calculator on there where you can go in, you can actually set up a filter, then you get the thread size, then you can call your local parts house and tell them you want to get a filter base for it and fab up your own thing. So that would be my suggestion. If you want to do a homemade kit, obviously we sell Fast and Air Dog and Fuel Lab, and they all have water separators on them. They have a filter and a water separator both on them. So maybe you want to go that direction. So we've got that as well. First phone call today is coming in from Utah.
I think that's Zach.
Is it Zach?
Zach Western.
Thoroughbred's this way. Can I help you?
How's it going, Wade? It's Zach.
Good.
I got a couple good ones.
Hey, how are you, Zach? You doing all right, man?
Have you ever heard of an ATS boost cooler causing a crank no start on an LD7?
No, I have not. That could be, I don't even know if you bent a pin on it, would it cause a no start?
Yeah, it was the only thing that changed, and when I unhooked it, it fired right up. No, I haven't heard of that. But if it's something that you got from us, we can definitely get you set up on a return and get you another one, get you taken care of. I got a second hand for free.
I got you. Okay. What kind of tuning have you got, Zach?
Just super chip splash pack right now. Just too broke to be up that line.
That's all right, man. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Well, even with the tuner that you've got, any of the tuners, you're pretty much gonna get the exact. You're gonna get boost fluid capabilities out of your tuner. Not in the full capacity, but a lot of the attributes of a boost fluid you're already going to have in your tuning. So, I'm sorry that the product didn't work for you, but I think that you're still going to be in pretty good shape with just your tuner alone.
Yeah, no, I got it for free, and I'm just gonna wait. I got a job here. I gotta wait for a paycheck.
Yeah. Well, at least you don't have to twist anybody's head off her shoulders today.
Anyways, my other issue, this might actually stump you.
Uh-huh.
For this job I just got, I drove about 100 miles up to First Hand in Wyoming.
Okay.
My check engine light come on.
Uh-huh.
I pulled over, tried to read it with my flash pack, nothing. I got up to where all the river rafters are at, because I figured
Yeah.
I didn't think anything of it because the check engine light had shut off when I pulled into their driveway, so it wasn't going to be able to read it.
Yeah.
It come on again as I was pulling into the town that I was trying to get to, and I went to the Chevy dealer and I come up with nothing at all.
Okay.
Nothing in history or active. They had come on again. So.
The truck's LB7?
Yeah.
Were you towing?
No.
You weren't towing anything?
Nope.
Nothing. Was there anything in particular that you noticed that you had the light come on at? Anything you were doing in particular? Anything you driving style?
Oh, I was at 8,400 feet first time to come on. So.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was getting ready to say. Given where you're from and what you were doing, man, and not knowing really what you were doing, my guess at it is probably a mass airflow code. One thing that you can do just to start out with, as hokey as this sounds, but the Chevrolets have got a pretty sensitive mass airflow sensor on them. One thing that you can do, just start out with, again, like I said, this is kind of hokey. Pull that mass airflow sensor out and clean it. It's actually a good thing to do because the air in on the mass airflow has a lot to do with the way the truck fuels. Your truck that might not have been your problem, Zach, but your truck might fuel completely different, and it might be something that just absolutely tickles you to death.
Randy, that one right there by the intake.
That it is on the intake pipe going into the intake filter.
Alrighty, and here's a good one just to speak about a little bit of the quality of the stock 45 injectors. I found out after that truck got put in the 07 recall.
Your phone kind of cut out there. They're 45% over injectors?
Yeah, that's Bosch SAC 40.
Oh, SAC 45s? Okay.
Yeah. When I had that dealer plug in through the Rock Springs, he didn't find anything. I had him run balance test and rail pressure and all that.
Right.
And they still read 0 across the board, about 76 feet on.
That I wouldn't take that. That could have been just an isolated incident on that, especially if at complete idle with nothing going on, no touch of the throttle or anything like that. Because as soon as you touch the throttle, if it senses anything above idle, it will come off of reading balance rates. I don't think the injectors themselves are going to do that. I'd like to see it go on another scanner and see if it'll read balance rates. I could be wrong there, but I don't think those injectors will turn that over to a condition where the FICM senses it to be not at idle.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, it read basically like they were brand new.
Yeah.
When I said say
0
across the board, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you.
All right, man. Good talking to you, Zach.
Bye.
See you, bud. We got another call?
Yeah, go ahead and get that one then, D&D.
Okay. Thoroughbreds this way. Can I help you?
Yeah. Hey, I was wondering if you can tell me what the life expectancy is for injectors, factory injectors, on a 2007 Power Stroke 6-liter.
There's really not a life expectancy number on them. Their life can be greatly shortened, with bad fuel quality or, not changing your oil regularly. All those things can go into shortening the life of your injectors. Have you got an injector problem right now?
No, just curious as to how long they're good for. I got like about 225,000 miles on them.
Yeah, and still not having any problems.
Right.
That's actually not unheard of. That just means that you're doing a good job with maintaining your truck and making sure that you don't run it too low on fuel or go too long between fuel filter changes. And it's just as important to maintain good oil changes on the truck as well. Yeah, absolutely. Most of your scoring that goes on inside the injectors, inside of a Huey injector, can be attributed to low oil quality or fuel quality. So as long as you're doing a good job of maintaining those things, I think that you can probably expect a pretty good life out of the injectors.
All right, and hey, if you've got an injector problem, it should throw an engine code would be the first symptom, hopefully.
Depends on what the failure is. If it's an electronic failure of the injector, then yes, it could code for individual cylinder. If it is a mechanical failure of the injector or an internal failure, then it will be noticed on a cylinder contribution test. IDS is something that's critical for that. And I say IDS, there's a lot of different software that does that. And I'm going to use the word oscilloscope, which is a terrible word, but most upper end scanners in today's market that do live data are able to give you an injector readout in kind of like an oscilloscope screen to where it's in a line graph. You can actually see a cylinder based on the performance of that individual cylinder in the graph in a reverse bell curve, or however you want to say it. But you can actually see it in the graph, the performance of that cylinder specifically, and it actually will show up if you've got a down cylinder as well. So IDS software for sure has that. Most of your upper end software, your Snap-ons and whatnot, will have it as well. But that is how I would have it done. If you can find somebody that will hook up on IDS and just give you a good quick scan of the truck, they can give you that type of information.
Parabola?
All right, good deal. Thank you, buddy.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it. Bye. Parabola.
Isn't that the word you're looking for? It's the reverse bell curve?
Is it parabola? I don't know.
Gosh, I don't remember. It was.
I was getting ready to say sine wave, but sine wave's not right either. You know what I mean? They actually show, because the cylinder, and when you look at IDS and you're looking at the line graph, all the cylinders, all 8 cylinders are going like this. If you have a down cylinder, it'll be a reverse check. That's based on the cam position sensor and so on and so forth. But anyway, it's an IC reverse bell curve. Parabola.
I don't know the parabola's right. Maybe we'll Google that when we're done. Wow.
It's your line graph going upside down, kids. I don't know. That means you're getting less performance out of that cylinder versus the other ones.
Hunter Mains, Rick, can you even process what you're saying right now?
Oh, yeah. Well, the words aren't coming very good today, you shithead, but I will let you know that I know what I'm talking about, even if you don't.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to cuss in the show today, and there went that.
Damn it. Hunter made you do it.
Every time.
All right. What could make an 07 6.7 Cummins not start? All cables are tight, battery's fully charged, but all it does is click.
All it does is click. I would think that it's starter. If the motor is not physically turning over, then I would think that your problem is in starter.
Or at least that's the first thing you need to check.
That's going to be the first thing that you need to check. Just see if you're getting, power down to the starter, and not power to the starter in regards to the constant power that goes down there. Make sure that you're getting power to the solenoid to make the starter go vroom.
This is a follow-up on the water separation question. It's not really related, just the same person. So 12 valve. So with a higher horsepower Cummins, around 300 horsepower, would it be worth getting a bigger radiator, because this is a slow off-road trails rig? So not a lot of airflow over the radiator on the trails.
Increasing the core size on the radiator is going to help anything. If you're having an overheat problem right now, I don't necessarily know that I would look at it on a radiator side. You may want to make sure that your viscous drive is up to par, and you're getting good airflow across the core. If you're not towing and you're doing pure trail riding, you might even want to look at something like a Flexolite fan, to where you've got good positive airflow across the core all the time. But now you're not going to be able to tow with Flexolite, but you will be able to. Might be a good change for you.
This one's a long one and wraps up with a horsepower estimate too, but I'll read it. 0124 valve, 5-inch turbo back, Quadzilla XZT. It's got a 150 fast on it. Glow shift boost. Oh, those are gauges. DAP SAC 7x9 injectors. S&P intake. S&B intake.
Stock pump.
Sorry, that's just S&B intake horn. Stock trans. Planning on putting a 62 millimeter turbo and header. Do I need ARB head studs? What do you think about 53 block? 350,000 miles on the truck.
53 block. It either is or it's not going to be. Do I suggest that you do head studs? I do suggest that you do head studs because once you put the turbo on the truck, your foot is going to get much, much heavier. That is a known fact of physics. So it would greatly help you to stay in or to go into head studs. You know, man, that's a lot of miles on the truck. It probably needs the head off of it and have it decked and checked. You're probably going to find it to be cracked. You're probably going to wind up having to put a head on it, but at least that's not that expensive an adventure. Yeah, so there you go. A lot to that. Sorry.
You good?
Yeah, I am good, man. Good.
We got a lot of local people on here today.
How many of them called me an asshole?
None of them.
Has Corey been on there today? Because I'd like to talk about Corey's pants.
Josh's pants. Josh was texting me right now. I don't know if he's watching, but you can
Josh, are you watching? I'd like to talk to you about your pants that you wore in here the other day.
It's background story because we get a lot of new watchers each week.
So the No Necks, every once in a while, the No Necks will come over to visit. I don't know if they do business or if they're visiting or they're talking, but they don't ever, come in and say hi to me or whatever. They just go and do their thing. So
the No Necks being the gym owners, gym owners
next door. The gym owners at Stroh Station CrossFit. Look them up if you're looking to improve your lifestyle. Via workouts. So Josh, or
it was Josh.
It was Josh. He came in and he had on very, very skinny pants. Very, very skinny pants. And Josh, for a guy that does as much weightlifting as he does, he is definitely skipping on leg day. So if you see Josh out and about, make sure you tell him that he needs to concentrate a little bit more on leg day because he got a calf about like that big around. But I got bigger calves than Josh does. And the guy's, he's a monster, but he got a leg about like that. So there's that.
You feel better?
I'm dead. You guys are going to kill me this time.
That's all right, man. You got a bigger gun than they do.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. I don't want to shoot them fellers.
All right. 160 over 30 injector. Sorry. R160 over 30 injectors, a good choice for a 97.73. So talk about the other upgrades he would need with that.
So I'd like to see you do, even on a 30% over nozzle, I would like to still see you do an upgraded high pressure oil pump. Definitely would like to see you go into an adrenaline tuning. You're just going to be so surprised, and I talk about it all the time. You will be so surprised at how much better performance you get out of the truck by upgrading your high pressure oil pump. So not a very big injector, but it's a nice injector for the truck. You're really going to like it. Upgrade the high pressure oil pump, and there we go. That's it.
In your opinion, what is the best LML year, and what would be the first thing I need to address when I buy one?
I think all the LML years are good.
I don't know that one's.
There's not really one
different.
Difference. The 11s had a little bit more, a couple of different quirkier things that are going on than the 12 and ups, but I think LML all the way. The L5P looks like it's going to be awesome. I wish I could tell you more about it. They got an awesome article in Diesel Power this month on it, breaking down the motor, man, and the Denso fuel system and everything is something I'm really excited about. I'm excited about the L5P. So
I can never remember if it's L5P or LP5.
L5P.
That messes with me more than any other Chevy numbering system.
They don't even talk about it, and it's everybody is like, nobody says Duramax anymore. It's L5P. It's people are like, "Good morning, honey. You look great today, L5P." You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. But, yeah, it's definitely the talk of the town. I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be a good motor.
Josh Wesley commented, I think he was answering somebody else's question, but maintaining over 45 PSI at WOT fuel pressure is vital to a 6.0 injector.
That's correct. That is correct. Josh Wesley got his truck out of the barn the other day, and he went to towing big loads. What was it? I saw that Josh, you went and cleaned up somebody's house. Good for you. Kudos for you. I think you hauled like a big wheel and maybe a log or something. He told everybody on Instagram he was putting his truck to work. I see you out there, Wesley. I see you. Y'all think I'm old and I ain't watching, but I'm watching. I just ain't saying nothing until we get on live TV in front of 14 people.
I like that 6.0, man. He's got a good job.
Yeah, he's done a good job. Josh has done a good job with his trucks. If you guys see him in the chat rooms or whatever it is that you kids do nowadays, Josh is a very versed man in 6.0, so he will answer your questions.
What's your advice on 12-valve conversions on a GMT, I'm assuming that's a GMC, 800 truck equipped with NV 4500 from the factory?
Cummins? He's wanting to do a Cummins conversion, right? dstroke.com. Rebecca Boso joined. Hello, Rebecca.
Are you not seeing it? It was right there. Lucas.
Oh, Lucas, which was on 12 valve conversion on a GMC 800 truck equipped with MB 4500 from the factory. dstroke.com for any adapters that you're going to need. I don't think that you're going to run into really any adapters there. Most of that stuff is going to be fabrication on an 800 frame. Yeah. I don't think you're going to have any problem with that. Sorry, man. I think you'll be running more drive shaft stuff than anything else.
Sorry, man. I lost my spot. I had to scroll back.
I did too.
2011 6.7 installed AirDog 2 4G tank with sump. Stock return. Oh, this is interesting. Stock return line plugged in, so no open fittings. It's leaking when it's full from the top of the tank. Not enough to hit the ground, just enough to get the tank wet. Everything feels tight. Where would the best spot to start be?
Stock return.
This is how he words it. Stock return line plugged in, so no opened fittings.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I assume it just means he's got the stock return line installed.
I'd like to know what you did on the top of the tank to do your AirDog return. Did you, in fact, pull the unit and put the bulkhead fitting in, and then you just used the bulkhead fitting for your return for the AirDog? Or did you put the baffle in the filler neck and let it go in that way? So a couple of different things that are going on there. If it's leaking and it's only leaking when you first fill the tank up, then I would think there's probably something going on around the sealing ring if you had that off. So you just go back through those connections as best you can. If it's leaking all the time, then it's probably something that's leaking because it's under pressure from return side or from the return side of the AirDog. Maybe something that you missed there, or hopefully nothing in the sending unit that's cracked. So really, I wish I could tell you exactly what it is, but man, at this point you're going to have to pull the tank back down and just check it out for yourself.
So I guess to answer that question, the top of the tank's the first place to start looking.
We start at the top of the tank.
All right, you ready for it?
I feel like that's what he's saying.
I think so too. I think he's just meaning that he did the stock. At first, I thought he was meaning he plugged the return line.
Yeah.
But I understand. All right. Anyway, this is going to be a hard one for you, but I really like this question. You ready for it?
I'm ready.
All right. When it comes to diesel, I guess the diesel industry, who do you consider to have made the most impact in the diesel world and why? And then he said, you can't pick yourself. Wade would never pick himself.
No, I haven't made any impact in the diesel industry. In the current time, I think that there are a lot of people that have gone into making just great strides. I mean, obviously, we owe it all to Rudolph Diesel. But even thinking about it in just modern times, let's think about it in the last 10 years. Obviously, you can't leave Gale Banks' name out of any conversation.
That'd be the first one I would have thought of too.
Gale has done so much working under the constraints of emissions that no one could discount anything that he's ever done. Gale's actually wrote one of the best books that you'll ever buy about turbocharging. Do a Google search about that. Gale Banks with a forward by
the forward.
The forward was done by Jay Miller, who used to work for Gale. It's a great book. If you don't know much about turbocharging, you will really learn a lot by reading that. There's guys out there right now that are doing everything that they can to keep the industry ahead and keep performance at the forefront of the industry as well. I mean, it's just the list just goes on and on and on.
Anthony Reams said Anthony Reams has done a lot.
Anthony Reams has done a lot. Anthony Reams has done a lot to show that you could be an old truck puller and be a drag racer too. But yeah, I mean, honestly, it's.
I don't know. Don't count out the Shides and the Hazleys and
Dan and
they've.
I did, and Adam's doing a good job of it, and that's why I really just didn't want to call out any names because I didn't want to offend anybody or to discount anything that they've done, but they've all done a great last 10 years. No, I mean, honestly, yeah,
there's so many that's it's too hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just trying to think of people that have made a huge impact.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't think about it, but TS did. I mean, he did some of the first tuning on trucks, didn't he? Am I right on that?
Yeah. Dan Scheid and Hazley from a purely genius engineering, fabrication, and performance standpoint. Then you can look at guys like Brady Williams that brought performance to a larger crowd. You know what I mean?
There's so many different aspects you can affect. Not even necessarily changing the diesel industry, but how you're able to market it and bring light to the diesel industry. Some of the marketing tactics that some of these people have done have been phenomenal. That have done
what Clint Cannon's done cannot be discounted either. Clint really is probably one of the first ones that brought turbocharging to, and not to discount anything that Gale did, but to bring turbocharging to the masses, for sure. There's so many names, and I'm not going to go any farther than that because I don't want to disrespect anybody because I have huge respect for these guys.
Yeah, I'm sure we left off about 30 people.
Absolutely. But we got Anthony in there, so that's important. And I didn't get to jump in your all's conversation last night because I was at supper myself, but I plan on picking that conversation back up in text message tonight. So we'll see you there. And Anthony, tell Ra and Tyler that they're in my prayers, and good to see the little boys doing good, and I'm pumped for you guys, man. Pumped for your family.
Yeah, congratulations, Uncle
Anthony. Uncle Anthony.
There we go.
And he's getting ready to have one on the ground too, but
that's close. All right, 2007 Dodge 6.7 liter. Trans will reach 250 degrees idling. When I put it in a rev, it would go forward. Yeah. In your opinion, is that just converter or deeper problems?
It's deeper problems, and it's going to start with a contamination issue on the front end of it. You need to get it back down to its smallest part. Let's go ahead and pull the pan down, change the filter, do new fluid, and we just got to get it back to its smallest part. The first thing. Then, if you're still having the problems, then yes, there is definitely a parasitic issue inside the transmission that's probably going to require you to do a rebuild.
01 24 valve. Just bought a VP44 with a 24-month warranty. I'm assuming that's from us. He didn't say, but I'm assuming it is. Straight to a fast 150 with snubber on its glow shift gauge.
Yeah.
Excuse me. The gauge is showing fluctuations between 14 and 18 psi only at idle. When I'm in the pedal, only at idle. When I'm in the pedal, hours steady. What do you think? I don't know what the last part of that means.
I get the same fluctuation on my pumps in my truck. We deal with a lot of fluctuation problems. Guys calling in on that. It was a fast, wasn't it?
It's fast.
Fast 150. I would make sure that you're getting proper voltage to the pump first off. Make sure that you're not having a voltage drop of the pump, which is equaling the pressure drop. It sounds like when you're off idle, when you are into it and you are increasing the RPMs, if your pressure is stabilizing, you very well could have a voltage problem. So you're going to want to kind of monitor the voltage down there. Don't go by what the first gauge is telling you. Hook another gauge up and verify the readings that you're getting. Lay yourself some groundwork and then start with your diagnosis from there. If you feel it to be a problem with inside the motor, the guys will definitely help you out, and they'll give you some more tech ideas than what I've given you to. They might want you to pull the ball out of it, check the spring and everything like that. But I think you're going to be okay. You may find a voltage fluctuation. So,
tune in on a 6.2 diesel.
No.
I've got a 2011 Duramax with cold air exhaust EFI Live at a 150 fast. On the big tune, it seems to run out of fuel. What should be my next move?
What was the truck again?
2011 Duramax.
He probably is running out of fuel. Doesn't have lift pump, right?
150 fast.
150 fast. I'm sorry.
Read it all over
yeah, no, it's for 150 fast.
EFI Live, big tune.
Yeah.
No fuel.
No fuel. You probably are running out of fuel. I apologize. You're probably running out of tennis. It's Florida. Florida. It's Florida. Florida doing Florida things on a flipping Thursday.
East Tennessee's going to win this game. I didn't pick them, but I think East Tennessee's
Anthony. I know you're probably still listening, but anyway. So, just depending on how much pulse width is in that tune, I don't know the tune specifically, but it does sound to me like you probably may be running out of fuel. A 150 tune, you can't just say a 150 tune, and that just doesn't give me a lot of data. I just need to know more about what your pulse width is. And
he didn't say a 150
duration.
tune; it's just a big tune.
Just a big tune, yeah.
But
it could be too much. It could.
I mean, he's just sucking the rail drive, most likely, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't think that you. I wouldn't necessarily, but I don't know. Without tuning, you would want to log it, and then that might point you in the direction of having maybe a high return rate on an injector or a CP3 problem as well, or a CP4 problem as well. But I hope that that's not your problem. Hope.
What is the true concern on the old 53 block Cummins, and is the concern hyped up more than the actual concern?
They were able to identify a certain casting, the 53 block, a certain casting that was more prone to cracking along parallel to the block. It cracks parallel to the block, along the cylinders there, and it will cause coolant leak is how you identify it. Obviously that type of a crack is a pretty severe failure rate. So there was something wrong that was in the casting when the engines were made. Is it real? You're damn right it's real. It is very real. And it is something that you always want to be aware of. Anything that you can do to prevent it, if you've got a 53 block, not a thing. There's really not a thing that you can do. It's either going to happen or it's not going to happen. I mean, there's a few things that you can do to try to, make sure it doesn't happen. But that would require you not driving the truck on hot summer days or not pulling any loads, which is what the trucks are designed for. So all that is thrown out the window. I wish I could answer your question better about the 53 block, but it is a very real thing. If you've got a truck and you've got 300,000 or 400,000 miles on it, and you haven't had a problem. Well, guess what? You might be one of the lucky ones. You may not have a problem.
This back to the Michael, the 01 24 valve earlier with the 24-month pump.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't listening to what you said, but he followed up with the question. What did you mean that I might have a cracked head? My truck EGT's 200 to 300. Coolant rarely hits 190. I didn't hear you say anything about a cracked head. I must have missed that.
I forgot what he asked.
The original question was...
He wanted to know whether he needed
0124 valve.
Yeah.
No, that he had fast 150 with snubber glow shift gauge fluctuations between 14 and 18 psi.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't know that we'd said anything about a cracked head there.
I'm not sure you did either, Michael. I don't think we said it was either a misspeak.
I was just talking about the fluctuation. We were talking about you could have a voltage fluctuation that's causing the drop in pressure, and then because you're saying once you get on the truck or you're off aisle or you're standing on it, the pressure evens out. That kind of tells me that maybe that there's something that is tied in. And if I said cracked head, man, I'm sorry, I'm going crazy. That it could be a very, very much could be a voltage issue. So you're just going to want to not discount what you got. Verify what your gauge is telling you. Use another gauge, check it out, make sure. Find out your voltages.
Michael's asked a bunch of questions. So,
Oh,
Michael,
okay.
We're going to have a hard time following at this point, bub. You're asking question on question on question. We're going to need to get this either in a phone call where we can answer them back to back, or you need to message the Facebook page. It's the way the comments are laid out in here. It's near impossible to chase them down during the live video.
If that's the same guy that asked us about the head studs, do we suggest he does head studs?
That was the same guy that asked about that was the
Yeah.
first 53 block question in the day, which I'm never had a
He had a
53 block question, and we've got two questions in one day about the
you got a lot going on, and if you're going to do head studs, you do need to pull the head off. You do need to have the head decked and checked, and don't be surprised if it comes back you having a cracked head. They were very bad about cracking inside of the valve cups. It was a very common thing. It's great that you're not having an overheat problem, but I'm just telling you, something to be aware of before you go into machine work.
What kind of time we got?
It's 3:34.
Okay.
Hey.
Oh, so we got somebody bragging on a second. I'll read it because I know it makes you feel good. Jeff, just want to say...
Oh, Trev. Listen, Trev, I see you, and you know daggone good and well that that's not what I said. You know what I meant. That ridiculous. This guy.
What?
Look what he wrote me. I didn't say No, I did not say that.
I don't even know what that means. We'll talk later. We'll talk later. All right, so I was trying to brag on you a second, but just wanted to give you guys a shout. I love and appreciate everything you guys are doing to take time from your business and families to do these live videos to help all of us gearheads with our problems and performance tips. You guys have been so helpful to many others and to me with my 2016 Duramax build. Thank you, Wade, and all the staff at Thoroughbred Diesel. You guys are great.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it. We love it. We like it. We like to be a part of everything, for sure.
Thinking about swapping my 48 RE to a G56 in my 06 Dodge. Can it be done, and where can I get all of the parts that I need? Let's turn the phone lines back on. Somebody asked if they were on. We might.
If you want to do a G56 because you want to go into a standard shift, there's not going to be a whole lot there. You're going to have to do some changing around on the drive shaft. Obviously, phone lines are open if you want to call 859-355-9002. There's a lot of information out there about it because I don't want to make sure that I miss anything. But as far as a bolt-up application is a bolt-up application as far as transmission to the truck. But obviously, you've got to get a clutch and so on and so forth. So, Colin Rainey's calling. This is going to be awesome. Hey, sing me a song.
Brother McGinnis, what is happening, brother?
Hello, Brother Rainey. How are you, sir?
Doing all right, man. We're down in Princeton, Kentucky, pull up the pipe right now.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Pipe layers.
Getting ready to pull her in, head back your all's way.
Oh, that's good. Well, you got to get back in town for all your fans that want to see you on Instagram playing that guitar.
Hey, yeah, brother.
Yeah.
Hey, I got to do it, man. I got to keep your wife entertained.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly right. Mine and plenty of other wives here in the general 3-county area.
I've got 2 questions. My long-time listener, first-time caller first.
Ooh-ah.
But Tom Crean loses his job in Indiana. What are the chances of him coming to LSU and taking Johnny Jones' job?
You going to hang up and listen?
No, I got more questions.
You got more questions?
Hey, first off,
I got a serious question.
I want to comment on this. I don't think they're going to fire Tom Crean till like June or July because that's when his contract comes up. So you won't even see him get fired till this summer. It wouldn't shock me if LSU picks up another coach before then.
Well, true. That's true.
Jimmy, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take just a minute, and I'm going to pray for everybody in Baton Rouge. Lord, please don't let Tom Crean wind up in Baton Rouge at the LSU Tiger Stadium. Hey, you know what I'm saying? That's the best I can do. That's all I can do because I don't want to see that happen to good. I don't want to see bad things happen to good people.
Oh, did they already fire him today? Tom Crean?
Is Crean fired? Hey, you got him fired, Jimmy. You jinxed it.
Tyler just commented. I haven't seen that he's fired yet.
Yeah, no, he's not fired yet.
All right, so real question.
Yeah.
For your show and all.
Yeah.
So in my passings on my new job, talking with all these old truckers that drive for us and whatnot, what are your thoughts on? Oh damn! I lost my question.
Oh, the incoming on the president.
Lost my question.
Yeah.
No, on that floating gears. What are your thoughts on floating gears?
On floating a gear?
Floating gears. Yeah.
I don't know necessarily that I know exactly what it's talking about. I've heard the terminology before, but I really don't know what it is. If they're talking about shifting without the clutch,
getting RPMs up there.
Yeah, a lot of big truck transmissions are called non-synchronized. Like the old Mack trucks, the old Maxidine trucks at 5-speed had a transmission in them called a 5-speed non-synchronized. You actually shifted it by RPMs. And that's where a lot of this stuff goes. I don't know if those Eaton Fuller transmissions are like that or not, Jimmy. I really don't. But if the clutch is not right dead's nuts beside of the brake, if it's over to the left-hand side and it's not a reachable thing unless you're at a complete stop, then that's the way the truck's supposed to drive.
Sweet.
If you can upshift, it's one thing. If it downshifts easily inside the RPM range that it's supposed to be done, buddy, then that's a good thing. I tell people don't do it on MV4500s because the MV4500 is for sure a synchronized transmission. Now, if it's a non-synchronized, then it's going to be done by the RPMs. I don't know the answer to that question, Jim, but I know if it's a 1978 Mack R800 5-speed, I promise you, it's a floater.
Well, that's about damn what we got, man. I'm going to come see you tomorrow. Thinking about getting an MP8 for our work truck.
Oh God.
Hey,
not if Ryan's driving. I'm not selling it to him.
What the hell happened to your bracket this year? I didn't see it come across my desk today.
See what come across?
My bracket, your bracket.
Shoot, I didn't get a bracket.
You didn't get a bracket, bub.
I totally forgot about
That's all right. We've taken your $10 enough, I guess. We won't take it this year.
Yeah, I couldn't donate this year, man. I just couldn't do it.
That's good to hear from you, Jimmy.
But I plan on seeing you at some point tomorrow, man.
Well, you come in here hot, bud, because we're going to be ready for you.
That I will. I'll talk to y'all later.
See you, man. That was the late, great Jimmy Rainey.
Tyler said he wasn't sure that they would fire Crean. So I was going to talk about Crean for a second. I thought they were going to interrupt me. I don't think they're going to fire him for sure.
We're in total agreement. Yeah.
But what the thing is his contract, like it's a $3 million buyout at this point. Whether they fire him like in 3 months or whether they fire him now. So the only way they're going to fire him now is if they have an awesome coach to replace him. Like if they got the Dayton coach, maybe they want to get from Dayton. That's pretty good. Is that Archie Miller?
Yeah, Miller.
Maybe they want to get Archie Miller.
Yeah.
They might do that. And then fire him. That might be worth the $3 million. But if they're not going to be able to get who they want, they're not going to fire him till July.
My take on the Cream thing is this, and it's not even really a take, but I noticed that Barstool did an article about, and of all of the places that didn't bash Cream, it was Barstool Sports, and they did an article about how much of a dumpster fire that Indiana was when Crean took over and what he has done to resurrect it from the ashes. Now, I don't know that I'd go that damn far.
I don't think he's a bad coach for LSU.
You know what I mean?
I actually think that in the SEC, if LSU picked him up, he would actually be okay there.
As a Kentucky fan, I just can't wish Crean going to LSU. I just can't do it because
I want to because has he really done much since the Dwayne Wayne years at Marquette?
No.
I mean, he's been riding that success from the get go. Yeah. Hasn't he? So, oh well. Go ahead. Go ahead and D&D because we're going to wrap up.
For him to go into Baton Rouge and being able to recruit, he'd have to pick up the big time Texas players and stuff like that. So, I'm in agreement. I'm not saying that the guy is a bad basketball coach. I just don't know that the cloud that follows him will not follow him into Baton Rouge. That's going to be. I think a man can win it at LSU.
LSU should be. See, that's hard to even say. I almost think LSU should be the second best basketball program in the SEC. Yeah. When you look at
regionally,
when you look at who they have brought into that program in the history. You talk about Shaq, and Pistol Pete Maravich, and who was the other guy that played with Shaq there for a while?
The guard. I can't remember his name.
They've had.
Say Fox.
I don't know why that shouldn't be.
You take Dale Brown and you let Dale Brown sit in on the committees and let him be a part of the decided process of who you hire there, and you just go out and you just try to get a big name coach. Yeah. Fire. You gotta let Ogeron coach it. I think Ogeron could coach the basketball team and the football team the same thing, and he'd do fine. The fans would love him. They love him. Now I'm like coon ass shit, and nobody knows anything he's saying, but they love the guy. I love Ed Ogeron. I like him when he coached at Ole Miss.
I feel like I'm listening to the dude off of the water boy.
Yeah. No. Hell yes, coach.
All right, let's wrap up. We're running out of time. I clicked off the thing.
Good conversation today, man.
Yeah, we've had some good ones. All right, I'm going to have to skip around here, guys. If we missed your questions, sorry. As always, you can post them onto the page, and me and Wade will get to them as soon as we can. So, when upgrading in steps, what's better, going with injectors or CP3? 06 Cummins, 800 horsepower, goal. Will a 10mm CP3 be too big for stock injectors, or will 100 over injectors be too much for a stock CP3? Great question, yes. John. Very well worded.
100 over is going to be too much depending on your tuning for a stock CP3. Absolutely. So you start with your CP3, you lay your groundwork, and give yourself something to work into once you decide to go into bigger injectors, because depending on your tuning, you're going to have to make a injector swap at some time, but guess what? You're also going to have to make a CP3 adjustment at some time too. So go ahead, do a good CP3. Keep your horsepower number in mind. Do the CP3 going forward to it. And I can't stop burping because Adam bought me in LA today. But yes, good luck to you. Hey, you're gonna love how the truck runs on stock injectors with a modified CP3. You're gonna get the most out of your tuning from that. So. Excuse me.
All right, this will be what time is it?
It's 3:45. We take one more.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap up with this one. This is a fun one to give. give one of our employees a hard time here anyway. So Daniel Hahn, he says, I am here with John Dyer on our way to work.
John Dyer? Are you
Yes.
kidding me?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
So on his way with John Dyer. So 07 LBZ, 290 miles on it. When I'm in high boost situations like pulling a trailer, it pushes coolant out the overflow, but doesn't overheat. Have any other problems? Is that for sure head gaskets, or could it be something else?
You're going to want to do the upper radiator hose test at this time. Take the truck up to operating temperature, drive it, take it home, shut it off, come out after 4 or 5 hours, grab up a radiator hose and see if it's still hard. That's going to let you know if that you have got a problem that you're going to want to start looking at more closely. Overheat is something that you're not going to have in diesels anymore because of a blown head gasket. It's not like an old gasoline tractor. It doesn't mean if you got a blown head gasket, you're automatically going to get an overheat. That's not how it works anymore. That is not how it works. The upper radiator hose test is just a good redneck way for you to start figuring out if you've got a problem or not. A couple things that you can do right now to make sure that you've got everything cleared up that's not going to be a head gasket. Take the cap off of the degas bottle. Once it's cool and cooled off, no pressure on it, take the cap off the degas bottle, stick your thumb in the top of it, hit the relief. Make sure the relief is not stuck. That's one thing that you can do. Now, I don't think that's going to be your problem, man. I hope that it is, because I don't want to see bad things happen to good people. Outside of that, don't know whether you've still got the EGR cooler on it or not. Might be a good time to go ahead and do an EGR relocation, as we like to say here at Thoroughbred Diesel. That could be something, a cooler could be something that you've got a problem with. But, I hope it is not a head gasket, man. But let's start with our upper radiator hose test. Clear that cap out on the degas bottle. Work from there. Try to do everything you can to help yourself not be a head gasket.
I was going to make fun of John a little bit more about his drive shaft, but we'll let that be, because there's only one tech question left. Let's get it, and then we'll wrap up for today. You good,
John? You're getting a damn nice drive shaft on your way to the house too. So
9712 valve with a film of engine oil in the coolant. Changed the oil cooler, but that didn't help. Is it a head gasket going bad? Stock injectors with no fuel plate, or internal cracked block? Still starts and runs good.
Still starts and runs good, so it doesn't have anything to do with it. But yeah, I'm going to lead towards head gasket just because of what it is. It's a 9712 valve. That's usually the biggest failure that they have. The film inside of the inside the radiator is probably telling the story. So I'm going to say gasket. I hope you don't have an internally cracked block. That's not a very common failure with them. I'd say it's something just as easy as head gasket. You should be in pretty good shape.
Cool deal.
I enjoyed the hell out of the show today, man.
That was a good one today. That's two good ones back to back.
Yeah,
we had
last week too. We like to have a mix of something that doesn't. It's always not trucks, you know.
It gets. We do. You got to realize we do trucks from 8 to 7 a lot of times.
Yeah.
So to get to talk about
Andy Reams, and we get to get picked on by Trev, and then we get to talk a little sports, and
the No Necks, we gave them a hard time.
The No Necks got a hard time today. So
what? Anything we need to wrap up on? Anything new we're putting up on the site that we need to?
We've got a lot of new. I'm glad you said that. We've got a lot of new lines coming up. So watch our website for any changes that you see that are moving. We've got a lot of new things happening for 2017.
We're going to try to, when we get a new line too, we're going to try to have someone, whether it be the owner, the lead engineer, call in and do maybe 15-20 minutes on Q&As as well, so you all can ask them some questions.
We've actually got next week or a week after next, we have got Edge here for training. So we'll see if we can talk the Edge boys into sitting in for the Q&A session. I doubt he will, but we'll try.
I don't know if that'll line up. Are they on a Thursday?
It's on a Thursday, So, all right, man.
So
that's it, folks. We're gone.
Tell them bye, Wade.
Bye, Wade.